Jane Goodall was born on April 3, 1934, and is still alive today. Jane Goodall was a scientist who studies wild chimps and their behaviors. She is known today for all of the work she has done with the wild chimps. Jane Goodall was raised in London, England, as a child. Even when she was young, she was always fascinated in animals. She had always dreamed of living with wild chimps and studying them in their natural habitat. Jane Goodall received a stuffed animal chimp, which introduced her to her love of wild chimps. After high school, she could not afford to go to college, so she worked as a secretary. It wasn't until 1956 that she got an invitation to go to Africa. In Africa, she studied wild chimps as if she was one herself. The chimps became more comfortable with her around every day, but they were not always comfortable with her around. One day, one spotted her looking and charged at her. He beat her up and tossed her off a cliff. Luckily, there were bushes to stop her on the way. She would still study the behaviors and ways of life of the chimps. She wrote an article in National Geographic and also wrote a book about her in Africa that was published in 1971. She also wrote other books such as My Life with the Chimpanzees. Overall, Jane Goodall was a brave, curious, and adventurous woman. She has impacted what other people thought of wild chimps and their habitat, and will always be remembered as a famous scientist who lived with wild chimpanzees.